Today, I'm explaining the full Claude ecosystem in a way that is 100% understandable for a person with zero tech knowledge. We're gonna be following the 80-20 rule, which basically means I've encapsulated the 20% that you actually need to produce the 80% of the real-world results. I'm not gonna be overwhelming you with useless features or technical details. Instead, I'm going to give you a clear roadmap of when to use Claude Projects, MCP skills, Cowork and Claude Code. Let's jump into level 1. Starting off with Claude Projects, where you can find them, well, just open Claude on your browser, come right here in the sidebar and click Projects. And here you can see your own projects and the archived one. I mean the archived one because for privacy reasons I cannot show you my own projects. But to create a new one, you just simply click on New Project, you give it a name. In my case, I'll just write Test Project and a simple description. Then click on Create Project. And the special things about projects are that they have their own memory that is stored while you're chatting inside this project. Each project has its own instructions, meaning custom style of writing, tone of voice, everything. And each project has its own file, so you can upload PDF, Google Docs, basically every file that you can think of. Here, Claude is keeping the history of your chats inside this project. And here is the normal chat box in Claude that we already know. To show you a quick example, I've created my content automation assistant project. So here it has its own instructions. So let's take a look at them. I have put the role, the task, the constraints, and everything that the project needs. And here I've put the files that I want this project to operate with. And a quick example chat. Here I've prompted it to generate 250-word blog post for me, having in mind the files that I've uploaded, and it actually did a pretty good job. By the way, for Claude Projects, as for every Claude tool that we'll be following in this video, I'm gonna attach a link to a separate video dedicated to only this feature of Claude here in the top right corner. One more cool feature about Claude Projects is that if you have a separate chat outside of the project, but you want this chat to be included in the project knowledge, you can just come on the plus icon here, go down and click on Add to Projects and then select your project. Well, in reality, Claude MCP is just this connector step right here. And what MCP is, simply explained, it gives Claude the ability to communicate with your other apps and services. Like in this case, you can see Google Calendar, Canva, Gmail, and to directly manipulate things inside those tools from Claude. So I'm gonna click on Manage Connectors, and here you're gonna see all my connectors and all the permissions for them. Here on the plus icon, you can browse the connectors or add custom connector if you want. As you can see, there are many apps that already have native integration with Claude, so you can just easily come here, click on the plus icon and connect your service. If you want to add a custom connector, you just click on the plus. For the purpose of this video, I'm not gonna be showing the add custom connector because it's kind of more technical and I don't think you actually need it. Claude already has many apps inside of it, MCP integration, so I think those will be enough for the most people. Next, we've got Claude Skills. So while I'm in the connectors tab, I'm gonna switch to the skills one. So what are Claude Skills? With a few sentences, Claude Skills are a predefined set of actions that execute whenever you invoke them or whenever Claude detects that it needs to use the specific skill. It is no different from human skills. So for example, this is a custom skill that I've created. It's called affirmation, and Claude uses this skill whenever I want motivation or some affirmations. You can see that right here in the skills description, it has outlined all the steps and constraints. Also, a more complicated skill is this algorithmic art skill. We can see that it's way more detailed than our custom skill, and it has access to tools outside Claude, and actually it has custom code inside of it, but you don't have to worry about all of those here because Claude can automatically create those for you as long as you've clearly explained it what you want to achieve with this skill. As you can already see, we can have our own skills that we create inside of Claude, or we can use skills created by other people. And those custom skills can be added from here. So create a skill with Claude, write skill instructions, or upload a skill, because skills can be packaged into individual files. Also, here in the top right corner, it's important to know that you can disable and enable certain skills. Soon I will release a video where I go into more detail about Claude Skills, so what is essential to make a great skill, how to download skills that people have already built, all those things very soon. Now let's move to Claude Cowork. To use Claude Cowork, actually you need Claude for desktop, so just write in Google Claude Desktop and you'll be prompted to the official Anthropic website where you can download it for your Mac or Windows. I won't show step-by-step instructions how to set it up because I already have made video about that. Link will be right in the top corner. Link for it will be in the top right corner. Okay, I'm in my Claude Desktop instance and here in the top I have choose Cowork. And the unique thing about Claude Cowork is that it can actually have access to your computer, meaning your folders, your files outside of the cloud and your browser. So as you can see here in the suggested tasks, it can organize your files and folders, which if you have a messy environment, it's really helpful. Here in work in a folder, you can choose the folder that it can have access to. So in my case, this one, and I can always allow or allow. I've allowed and I want to list me all the files that are inside this folder. Here in the right side, you can see that it has its own progress window, the folder that it works with, and the context. As you can see, it successfully executed the task. It can actually do way more cool things like renaming our files, moving them somewhere, looking what's in them and altering this information also, but more of that I have in my separate video about Claude Cowork, which will be again in the description. And moving on to the big boy, Claude Code. Before explaining you what Claude Code is, I want to mention that there are many ways to work with Claude Code. The most convenient way of them is to work with Claude Code directly in Visual Studio Code, which is a tool that lets us easily work with code and structure our code files. Again, separate video where I got into more details and how to actually install and set up Claude Code on your computer will be in the description. But let's quickly go through it. So we've got our Claude Code in our Visual Studio Code. This is how Visual Studio Code, by the way, looks like. And here we have our Claude MD. Briefly, these are our system instructions and how we want Claude to handle all of the information that we give it as prompts. And to show you how much powerful is Claude Code, I'll just run this simple prompt, create me an application for myself where I can upload my invoices as PDFs and I get a detailed analysis of all the information in them. I'll just click the arrow here and we can see how Claude Code is thinking. Also, it has ability to execute commands directly in our terminal and it started creating the files for us. It took Claude Code 5 minutes to create me a fully working application where it can analyze all of my invoices. And the best part is that I only talk with it in plain English, no technical stuff, no code, nothing. This is what the application look like. So we have a place to upload our invoice. Here it will be the analysis and a quick section on what gets analyzed. So let's test it out. I will attach this sample invoice right here. We can see that it is successfully uploaded. I'll just click analyze invoice. It's currently analyzing it and boom, this is the result that we get. So we have the vendor information, the invoice details, the customer information. We can download it, clear it. Guys, this app has been built in literally 5 minutes. This is really crazy. I said Claude Code is the big guy because here you can basically build anything that you want. More about Claude Code and its features will be in the video down in the description. That will be it for this video, guys. I hope it was helpful understanding all the cloud features out there because there are new ones coming every day. So I wanted to create a dedicated video that summarizes all of them so you don't get lost in all the information that is out there. But yeah, if you found it helpful, hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you for sticking until the end and see you in the next one.